So today we're going to discuss how to set up the Brock string with the Hart chart. So you'll see here the Hart chart is right above the string, and when you set up the far bead you want it to be about 12 to 18 inches from the wall. It doesn't have to be exact. The middle bead will be set up in the middle, and the most important bead here is really this close one. You want to bring it in towards the patient's nose until they see double. So let's say she sees double here, for example, and then you just move it back just a little bit, making sure that she's seeing single. The other option is that we might just recommend putting it at between 2 and 4 inches from the patient's nose, depending on what the instructions. So we are going to just go over how to do the Brock string first. So Maureen is fixated here on the near bead, and you can see both of her eyes are converged in, pointing right here. And Maureen, how many beads do you see here?
Just one.
How many strings do you see coming out of the bead?
2.
Perfect. So that's the response that you want to hear. That means that both eyes are working. And Maureen, if you were to cover one eye for me, you still see one bead, but how many strings do you see?
Just one string.
Exactly. So now uncover, and you can see that other eye picks up fixation. And looking at that near bead, you see one bead again.
Yep.
And then you see 2 strings. Excellent. Now I'm going to have you move your eyes to the yellow bead. Good. And then to the green. Back to the yellow. Back to the red. And you can see her eyes moving, and back to the yellow. Back to the green. Back to the red. Big jump to the green. Back to the red. Excellent. So you can really see her eyes moving, and that's what you want to see with your child. Okay, now that we know how to perform the Brock string, we're going to add the Hart chart in. So the idea is that you want your child to look at one bead and then look back at the chart quickly, making jumps from different rows back and forth. So Maureen is going to show you first just moving back and forth up and down the rope again. So look at the red bead, and then look up at the chart for me and read the first letter and the last letter.
O-E.
Back to the yellow bead. Next line.
Y-X.
And then the green bead. Up to the chart.
E-P.
Jump back to the red, and I want to just show them what you're reading here. So now she's on line 4, so she's going to be reading the first letter and then the last letter of each line. So you can continue.
B-C.
Back to the yellow bead.
R-O.
Back to the green.
M-F.
Back to the yellow.
C-A.
Back to the red.
F-G.
Back to the yellow.
T-B.
Back to the green.
H-L.
Good. When she reaches the end here, we're then going to have her go back to the beads, jumping from one to the other, but she's going to now read the second letter in and the second from the last. So F and H all the way down, and then she's going to go into the third, so third letter in, third from the last. And she's going to be toggling back and forth just like she did before with the first and last as she moves through the chart. So we're going to go over a few things to note while your child is doing this. First things first, you want to make sure that they are standing about shoulder width apart with their hands at their sides and holding the string right up to their nose. You want to make sure that they're not moving all around, wiggling around, moving back and forth, as the placement of this near bead is really important for convergence. Sometimes I even will put a bag of potato chips, my hand, anything to put on their head to stop them from wiggling. Additionally, if they are having any difficulty finding their place on the chart, you can highlight the rows in the same color, meaning when we jump from the first to the last, you can highlight those in blue, and then second in, second from last with yellow. You sort of just have to make the modifications that work best for your child. But really the most important thing to remember here is you want them to be changing their convergence level from looking at, at the near bead and then relaxing up to the chart. And then to the middle bead, up to the chart. The far bead, up to the chart, and then working your way back up the rope to the near bead again. It's really important for the child to be going slow and mindful of all of their eye movements that they're